Welcome to this introduction video on DuoSoft Field. DuoSoft Field is a data collecting application for surveying purposes that runs on an Android platform. I'll be giving you a brief introduction onto DuoSoft Field and a few things that you can do on the app DuoSoft Field. Okay. I've installed DuoSoft Field on this platform that you can see here, and this is what I'll be using to introduce DuoSoft Field to you. So I'm going to start up the app now. When you start up the app, it will by default ask for you to enter a name. So for this introduction, I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to leave it as is and select OK. So what you see here on your screen now is your main menu for DuoSoft Field when you start up the app. So you can also see here at the top also the current version of the app that I'm using to demonstrate to you right now, which is version 2.0.3859. Okay. So on this main menu, you have a job menu, a geometry menu, a licensing menu, and that this button exit here, that just exits out of the app. And about DuoSoft Field, that just gives some information on DuoSoft Field. So let's start with that, about DuoSoft Field. So DuoSoft Field is distributed by ProtServe GeoCenter. And as you can see here, that's the version that I said earlier, and it is developed by DuoSoft. Okay, so I'm also going to talk about the licensing menu. If you select on the licensing menu, it will take you directly to the license status page. As you can see here on my DuoSoft Field, this one is licensed, and it will also give you a date to which it is licensed until, which is the 1st of January 2023. So in the case where you have your DuoSoft Field and it is not licensed, what you will do is you would select install license, and after you've done that, you will come to this licensing page, which will give you an ID string, which is the ID string for the app. And each app, after you have installed it, will have a unique ID string. So what you can do to get the license key for your app is to SMS this ID string to this number that is shown here, and you will receive a license key, which you will then input here and select OK. So since is already licensed, I'm just going to select cancel and go back to the main menu. The geometry function of DuoSoft Field is a function that allows you to do surveying computations like your joints, your polars, and intersections. So I'm just going to select it so you can see what it can do. So there we go, you've got your polar. If you want to calculate a polar, that's what you're going to select. If you want to calculate a join, an intersection. Another thing that DuoSoft has is the ability to determine for you the closest benchmarks, chain edges, and also allow you to do pickups. So what the closest benchmark does is that if you have imported a roadway design, that is, you have imported your vertical alignment, your horizontal alignment for a roadway, you will be able to, by choosing a chain edge, you'll be able to see what is the closest benchmark to that chain edge, and vice versa. If you select a benchmark, you'll be able to see what is the closest chain edge to that benchmark. So what a pickup does is that if you measure to a point using this function pickup, DuoSoft will give you the coordinates of that point, the design elevation of that point, and what is the difference between the design and what you have measured to that point. Okay, so that is in a nutshell what the geometry function of DuoSoft field does. So let me go back. If you select job, this is where you'll be able to create your job. This is the job that you'll be using to import the files that you're going to need for your surveying project, and also where all the data that you're going to collect will be saved. So let me select job. Okay, so by default DuoSoft will set the current job as the previous job that was used last when DuoSoft was open. So by default the last job that was used here is demo 1. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new job, and I'm going to call it intro. Okay, as you can see here also, you've got a couple of things here under this general category here. So these are settings that are associated with your job. That will be the coordinate system, if you're using an LO coordinate system or a UTM coordinate system. And you are also able to apply high datum reductions. If you want to apply this, you have to check this box here, otherwise you deselect it. If you want to apply a scale, you check the box, otherwise you deselect it. You put in the scale factor, you put in the value of the height reduction there. You will also be able to put in the central meridian of the coordinate system that you're using. You are also able to set distance tolerances. That is, if I'm measuring a distance to a control point for orientation purposes, let's say, and the distance that I've measured is not within, let's say that's 1 centimeter, then DuoSoft will reject that value, or it will tell you that this value is not in tolerance. You also have angle tolerances and level tolerances, so you are able to define those tolerances. Okay, so now we're done with this will be the general settings. Let's go to alignment and leveling settings. So the alignment settings, this is with regard to roadways. Okay, so you will define a horizontal alignment for a road as well as a vertical alignment. So if you have defined those alignments manually by inputting the data directly into DuoSoft field, or you've imported it through CSV or TXT files, you'll have to put in a starting chainage for your roadway. Let's say your starting chainage is 5,000. You put it in there. You do not need to put in the starting chainage if you have imported your roadway design or alignment using LandXML or PR3 files. The chainage increment setting, this is the setting when you are doing as-built or profile leveling for your roadway. This is the value that DuoSoft will automatically increment the current chainage you are on to the next chainage. If you were at chainage 110 and now you are going to the next chainage, DuoSoft will automatically increment to chainage 120 because you are using a factor of 20. Traveler, this is the size of the traveler that you'll be using for that roadway, and in this case it's 0.35. This is just an example. The difference to design, this is where if your road has been shifted by, let's say, a value of, let's say, 10 centimeters, this is the value that you're going to put in here, so that when you do now your as-built, you don't find that, okay, all my values are 10 centimeters up. If you put in that value, that accounts for that shift, and then you'll be able to see now what is the difference to the new adjusted difference, because now from your design everything will be 10 meters lower or higher, but if you specify your difference here, you won't find that 10 centimeter difference on your observations. This allow change points function, what it does is when you're doing your leveling, whether it be profile or as-built, it allows you to move your instrument further along the roadway without having to cancel your complete job and have to start from scratch at a benchmark. So what it does is you'll sight to that change point, it will carry that value, you will sight back, and you'll be able to continue with your profile level. Okay, another setting that you can do is a order of reading settings. You have options of a Z path or a meander. So the Z path is the way in which is the pattern that you're going to be using. So it's like a zigzag pattern. So if you start here, your second point will be here. When you go to the next change, you will start on the side that you started first, going to the next one and continuing in a Z path like shown in this pattern here. If you select a meander, the same thing applies. You will start there, continue, that will be your second point. When you change to the next change, you will be able to continue on the same side that you were on the previous change, continuing like that in the pattern that is shown here. The stakeout options that you have, this is the option that is applied when you are saving stake points. So when you save that stake point, you have an option to include a string, this string here, STK, in front or after the name of the point that you're staking out. So the prefix that will be that you'll have this string STK before the name of the point, and the suffix is that you'll have that string after the name. Okay, so that is a little bit on the setting options that you have for a job. So I'm going to select create job, and what DuoSoft will do is that it will change my current job here to the job that I have just created now, which is intro 1. Okay, you also have there's also other things that you can do, like you are able to copy information from a previous job into a new job, delete job, or change between jobs. I'm also going to talk about connect to instrument and disconnect Bluetooth. What connect to instrument does is that it allows you to be able to connect via Bluetooth to a number of surveying instruments such as your digital level, total station, and you are also able to simulate like as if you're connected to your instruments while you're not, so you're able to do sort of like a simulation survey. Okay, let me go back. If you have done your survey and now you want to disconnect your instrument, all you have to do is select disconnect Bluetooth, and DuoSoft will disconnect from the instrument that you're using. Okay, so I've gone through this, so let's go further into DuoSoft. Let me select OK, and it will take you into the job tasks. So in DuoSoft you are able to do leveling and also do survey applications, that data collecting, staking out or setting out, and other applications as well. Okay, so I'm just going to select leveling so you can see a little bit on what is available on the leveling function. So on the leveling function, you're able to do your normal leveling, which is fixing height of points that you don't have height of by starting at benchmarks and closing at another benchmark. You are also able to do profile leveling, widening, and also as-built. So that is a little bit that you can of an idea of what you can do with leveling with DuoSoft Felt. Okay, I'm not going to go much further into all these other functionalities right now, but I'll continue to do videos on this and you'll be able to see what more you can do with DuoSoft Felt. Thank you.